It's Sharon's here. I am so glad you joined me today. Oh my goodness, we are going to have a great day today. I'm going to give you tips and tricks to look younger right now. Right now, ladies. Yes, today. Now. Now, before we get down to that, I want to tell all of you new subscribers to scroll on down. See that subscribe button, girls? Go ahead and click that button, darling. Okay? And then see the little bell? Go ahead and click that bell because that'll notify you of my upcoming videos. I generally have my videos out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, this coming Monday is Labor Day. There will be no video then, so I'll be seeing you all next Wednesday. Okay? So, today is fun. We're going to look younger today. And this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. Take notes if you want or listen in, okay? The first thing to looking younger right away is exfoliate. Now, there's lots of different ways to exfoliate. I have talked to you guys about that. We've talked about the P50. We have talked about glycolic acid, salicylic acid, lactic acid, blah, blah. We can go down the list. Any exfoliant that you like and that works for you is something you need to do at a minimum of twice a week. 2 times a week. Okay, minimum. You have to exfoliate that often. You've got to get all the crusty crust, girlfriends, the dead skin cells off of your face in order for your makeup to sink in deeper, your skin products to sink in deeper, gives you a beautiful finish after you fixed your face. The exfoliating is uber important. The second thing I want to talk to you about is the even looking skin. Yes, I just mentioned exfoliate. Yes, you can do that. But it's even more than that. One thing I want us to talk about are some treatments. We can talk about microdermabrasion. We can talk about scrubs, little facial scrubs that you can do that with small grains, kind of like the Tasha rice powder. We can talk about polishing cloths, like I showed you all about the polishing cloth. Takes off a lot of the layers of your skin and smooths your skin out to look polished. There are lots of things you can do. You can do lasers. Now, even micro needling helps with skin surfacing, the texture, if you know what I mean. That way, your skin is all smooth. That is something uber important, something you can do today, right? Okay, girlfriends. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is getting your skin ready for the foundation. Primers. Oh my gosh. If you're not using a primer, you need to be. You have to be. It holds your makeup on for one thing, and it smooths out the texture of your face as well. Now, everyone knows I am a firm believer in silicone primer, commonly called dimethicone. This is the reason why. When you use a silicone primer, it goes into all the pores, holes, everything you've got on your face, and it's just slick. I mean, your skin is just slick. It's totally smooth. That's why I love silicone. It goes into extra fine lines and wrinkles as well. Silicone will only do that. That's why I am so gung-ho for silicone primers. Now, of course, the silicone primer of my choice is the Smashbox in the clear gel. That silicone primer is the best. I've used it for years. I don't use any other primers other than the Smashbox silicone because I want my makeup to glide on. First of all, I use less makeup for one thing. And when you're pushing that product in, it's like glass. That's why you want the silicone primer. They do have one, I think Garnier has one at the drugstore that's a silicone type primer. You might want to try that. That's a cheaper alternative, although Smashbox is not expensive anyway. You can get it at Ulta and everywhere else. But I'm just saying those are 2 products, but I strictly stick with my Smashbox. Fabulous. else. Now let's talk about foundation. Foundation can be tricky because there's so many skin types out there. But let's say you're dry like me. I already have my primer on, right? I'm going to start with my foundation, so I'm going to, pour out a little bit or squirt a little bit on the back of my hand here. And I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to kind of dot it around. Now, I don't dot a lot the first round because I do my foundation in layers. All right, I take my damp beauty sponge, beauty blender, and then I start with the first layer all over and just even it out, because that lets me know if I need to add more or not. I focus more right here in the center, okay? And everything on the outside doesn't have to be as heavy. But boy, right down in this area, I want all this covered, this here covered, down here. See what I'm saying? So you can work in layers. You'll find out that you'll save money on makeup for sure, but your face is going to look 10 times better. You're going to get a better canvas when you work in small, thinner layers with your foundation. Now let's talk about fixing the under eye discoloration. A lot of us, have the bluing right in here. A lot of us have, it's dark under your eyes as well. Let's say you just want to brighten them up because that's going to take 10 years off right then and there. Color correct. We know that. Color correcting is the most important. For any type of bluing, you want a salmon color corrector. They've got corrector sticks. They've got cream correctors in little pans and trays. All at Ulta in different brands of everything from Revolution on up, okay? So you can always find the right price. You find it in stick form, you find it in cream form, whatever floats your boat. The most important thing is to use a color corrector starting in here and going down to here, okay? Then you're going to put, obviously, your concealer on top of that. But color correcting is imperative. Okay, the next thing is blush. Okay, stop with putting blush on the apples of your cheeks. Are you kidding me? And let me tell you why. Our faces are sagging, lady. Your cheeks are going to be down here. See what I'm saying? When you sag, you don't have any cheeks anymore to really put blush on. And anyway, it's too far down when you do try to do that. With mature women, believe it or not, and I was told this by a fantastic, probably one of the best makeup artists in the country up in New York. And she told me, and she sat me down, she told me, Sharon, start up here at the temple and go to your pupil. Right like this. It's almost right at the top. Because obviously, when we sag, we can't put the blush on our cheeks, okay? Let's say you're smiling. You put blush here, you stop smiling. Oh, you're down here then. And you're going to look like a clown. You've got to follow that line. The higher you put the blush, the younger and more lifted your face is. So I start in the temple and literally come right here to my pupil. Right up here on that cheekbone. Because I want it to look more youthful. Now, I can't say it always turns out that way. It depends on if I'm in a hurry. But I'm telling you the proper way to do it. Do you see what I'm saying? So make sure you start with a temple, come here, right to your pupils, and stop. It gives you the pre-skull, and then it looks like you have cheeks. Do you see what I'm saying? It gives you that illusion of a cheekbone. Even if you contour, that's great. Okay, and that's fantastic. But not everyone knows the process of the right contouring. And then sometimes they don't set the contour and it slides off the makeup. There is a trick to everything. Do you see what I'm saying? But for the more mature women that have lost all of this volume in your cheeks, do it the way I just showed you. It'll make you look 10 times younger. Trust me on this. And as a matter of fact, when I take my blush, I kind of rake it over the top of my nose too. I brush it across my nose to the other side. Because it just kind of marries everything together, you know? It just doesn't look like you start somewhere and end somewhere. Oh my gosh, let's talk about eyebrows. I tell you, if anybody's got a PhD in eyebrows, it's got to be me. Only because I had two horrible, what you call microblading, I call it tattoo, brow problems. And the only way to fix it is to go in and have all the tattooing off, which is a procedure that takes 3 visits just to get it all off, to start over. Okay? So, I can tell you about the eyebrows. You know, though, let's just start thinking about this. Do you remember when we were younger? We had the nicest, fullest eyebrows. I always had a most perfect shape. As a matter of fact, I only had to pluck once a month just a couple of hairs. It's like my eyebrows were always perfect. That was one of my calling cards, was my eyebrows. Do you believe it? And now I practically have to paint them on. When I have to draw them on, per se, that's going to make you look older. You know, to have to draw them and shape them. But you got to kind of have a little trick to it, feather it out. Hopefully you have enough hairs to do that. You could even brush your hair up. I mean, I don't even, after the tattooing, really have any hairs there. Maybe I need a transplant. We've even tried putting hair growth on there. It doesn't work. But do you see what I'm trying to say? It's so much easier to do a brow that looks like you have little hairs. And don't do the Instagram where they're straight here type thing. Give it some feathering here. Just think about how you were when you were in junior high and high school. How your eyebrows looked. And fix them that way. Because it's going to look 10 times better. Trust me. Okay. So, ladies, let's fake an eye lift, okay? Let's say that our eyes are kind of downturned here, or they're beady and small. I've got really small eyes, and I always try to give them some sort of lift. Yes, it's always great to put the tape here and then do your eyes, because that's like an automatic lift. It's perfect. But let's say you don't have tape on that day, okay? Let's talk about, we're going to make a transition line. Instead of you all concentrating and beating your heads against the wall about making a transition line, because I know it isn't easy or hard, and I hear from you all the time. This is the thing. When you are going to make a transition line, you dip your blender brush in. This is not quite the brush I need, but I just want to show you something. Stop worrying about precisely whether you have to put it. We're talking hooded eyes here and smaller eyes, okay? So just start here and just go all over. Anything from here up, from the brow bone up, just cover it in that transition color, because I tell you why. After a while, we're going to take a nude or white pencil and just put a little bit here under the arch. And that way it doesn't look like you made mistakes. So you can go ahead and have that color all over and you won't have to worry about it. So you just start here making your little circles all over, back, forth, make your circles, back, forth. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you take your transition color all the way up here. It just doesn't. Because in a second you're going to take that little pencil like your highbrow by Benefit or your Anastasia pencil, and you're just going to go right up under the arch and down. Piece of cake. That way you're not beating your brains out over doing this. And it looks clean, it looks neat, and it's nice, and it gives the eye more of a lift. Are you following me? Now the next thing that helps give us the eye look, and this is so funny, because everybody else says, no shimmer after 40, or no shimmer after 50, or whatever. We don't listen to that. Look, I agree with some of the other younger YouTubers. If you've got hooded eyes, by putting a lighter shimmer on your lid, makes your eyes pop. Remember, the transition line is darker. Okay, so it pushes that back. It makes the hood look less noticed. When you put a shimmer on your eyelids, it makes them pop out front, saying that's more important. Look here. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's the way it should be. So shimmer is fine. All right, now I wouldn't go heavy glittery because that'll attack you anyway, but a satin or a shimmer would be absolutely perfect. And it's going to make your eyes totally pop. And always be sure what the transition color you put here, brush it with a little thin brush all the way under your eyes, almost 3/4 of the way. Brush it under each eye, and then of course what you're using here in the corner, take it about 1/3 of the way. Then the first part of your under eye right here, coming up to that transition color, put the little shimmer, opens your eyes up. And make sure the little shimmer is right in the corners. Make your eyes pop. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't mean put a big glob here and a glob here. No. Let's get closer to the eye. The, upper part of the eye, eyelid, and the lower part of the lid. And that is just going to make you look so much younger. Your eyes will be brighter, and they'll just open up. Another thing is I did a video back when on hooded eyes, and I showed you different placements, of how to, do liners and do creases and how to transition there. I'll list those down below so you can refer back to them, okay? The next thing, instead of a dark eyeliner, let's talk about a charcoal gray. Let's talk about a yummy brown, maybe a burgundy brown, or let's talk about a navy. Any of those colors of eyeliner are going to make your eyes look younger and make them pop more than a jet black. I try to get away from the jet black liquid. I would try to do more of a pencil or possibly a shadow. Now I know some of you say, "Oh, Sharon, I couldn't possibly get away from my black eyeliner." Well, if you do it well, and you know how to do it. If you're just, bent on sticking with it, then go for it. However, it'll make your eyes look younger along with the rest of the face if you take it down to a brown espresso. I personally like a burgundy type brown color. I think that's really hot. Makes blue eyes pop like crazy. The navy blue, I love navy blue liner. And then I like an espresso if it's real dark espresso. That works really good. So try that, play with it, and see the difference. But that's the way I go. Now some of you are not good with pencils, so I say try the shadows. Get a slanted brush, dampen it, squirt some of your Fix Plus on there, or even some setting spray, and dip it in that shadow and just, rub the top, staying within the line of your eyelashes. Brush it across, brush it underneath. Voila. You're going to be stunning. Absolutely stunning. Okay, now we haven't talked about highlighters, and they're tricky when you're older because we have texture all over our face and fine lines and little wrinkles. So we got to be really careful with the highlighter. Okay, now some of us that have lost a lot of volume in the cheeks have to be very careful. And this is what I say about the highlighter. And I love highlighter, don't get me wrong. It's not a no-no for us. We can use it. We just have to know what we're doing. When you use a highlighter and you've lost some of the volume, you're already bringing your blush up higher, then what you do is you take, I don't even have a blush brush here. Follow me with this, okay? You just want to start here with the highlighter right at the temple and just pat. Just right on top. And let it kind of feed into that blush. Just a little bit. Right from the pupil to the temple. Same thing. And I'll tell you what, your blush will look gorgeous. And you can still take it down the bridge of your nose. You can still take it on your chin, a little bit above your eyebrows. So you don't have to get away from highlighting. It's perfectly all right. It's going to be fine. Just do it a different way. Try that and see how you love it. Okay, I have more people ask me all the time, "Sharon, do you always use a lip pencil?" Always. Always. I've got a lip pencil that goes with every lipstick. And even the liquid lipsticks that you paint on, yes, I still use a liner. Then I'll tell you why. The reason I use the liner is I can follow that perfect line, and those can be tricky when you're working with a little doe foot type applicator because it could start bleeding immediately. You have that liner there, it won't, because you can just very carefully turn that little doe foot on its edge and follow that liner, and your lips come out perfectly. I never go without lip liner. Never, 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 never. And another thing, I've always been told by every makeup artist I ever knew that lighter colors on mature women make us look younger and fresher. And I believe that. But every once in a while, we gotta go with the wild, and cool colors. Like this last week, I did a berry color. I don't wear a lot of berry colors, except sometimes in the fall I will, but not even often. I wear them when I wear like black at night going out because it looks really smashing then. But I lean towards more reds. I'm a red kind of gal and, kind of a nude kind of gal. So I am just saying, don't go real uber dark on your lip colors. I know some of them out there are so berry and so purple, they're real dark and they don't look good. They'll make you look really aged and they'll really show up the lines around your lips. It happens with everybody when you get middle age. If you go too dark on those berries, you have blown it. So you got to be real careful and test those colors. Because remember, if it's too dark, it's going to show up more lines. It's kind of like your reds. Be careful. I have to wear a blue red because that's my skin tone more. But I will tell you one thing. I have to be careful of the blue reds. If it's really got too much blue in it, then it's going to look awful. It ages me a lot. So there's a fine medium there, I got to kind of stick with MAC red, you know what I mean? Or the Revlon fire and ice type thing. But this is what you have to do. You have to really think about that. And match it up with your complexion. You'll see what works for you and what doesn't. But the lighter colors do kind of give us a younger, fresher look. And the next thing is, don't forget to put your gloss on, girlfriends. Whether it's your gloss or a little cream lipstick or something over the lippy you have, because it gives it the sheen. For instance, today I have on a Bitch Perfect by Charlotte Tilbury, and I have the Buxom White Russian right in the center and at the top of the center. And it just makes your lips look a little fuller. And I know what you're saying, oh Sharon, come on, really, you don't need your lips any larger. But let me explain something to you. They just pop. Your lips just really pop when you've got that gloss on, if you know what I'm talking about. Any type of sheen on top of your lip is fantastic. Because like I said, it's in your face. And that's where it's at, girlfriends, okay? All right, ladies, these are just things you can do right now, today, to bring on a younger look. And you'll be tricking and fooling everybody out there, and your eyes will be lifted, and you'll look like you have cheekbones, and you're going to be the star of the show. So get busy, ladies. Get your makeup out. Go to work. Let me know how it worked for you. And for all of you, I want you to share down in the comment section what other little tips and tricks you might have to help you look younger. Add to the list here. And things that'll happen instantly. That's what we want. Okay, girlfriends? Okay, be sure to leave those in the comment section. I want to thank each and every one of you for being with me today. This was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. For all of my new subbies out there, my girls, I just love you to pieces. Thanks so much for joining my tribe. I love each and every one of you. And I want everyone to stay sassy, classy, confident, and give me a big thumbs up on this video.